I have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys. Mike is out for the preview episode, but he will be back for the full episode. This is preview for episode 127, Roxanne Roxanne. This is a movie that is available on Netflix right now. This is sort of a narrative retelling of the life of Roxanne Shante, the famous 1980s rap artist. Yeah, it looks like a less offensive Precious to me, which is kind of cool. It just doesn't feel so brutal. Like, hey, she's running down the street with a bucket of chicken. We get it, type of thing. So, yeah, this looks good. Again, you can. This is a Sundance darling as well. So go check that out. Again, it's on Netflix called Roxanne Roxanne. So we do have a random topic of the week, which is on the response to the Parkland teenagers, the kids who survived the shooting in Florida at their high school, and they had the March for Our Lives rally in DC and around the world, actually. And some of the responses to the rally were kind of interesting, to say the least. And then we'll pivot into probably a larger conversation about guns. Terrence, you found an article and a couple of responses that you thought were kind of interesting.
Yeah, the article I found, well, one of the main kids that survived the Parkland, he's kind of one of the faces of the movement, if you will. His name is David Houk. He was in an interview, and this is what he said. There's a lot of racial disparity in the way that this is covered, Mr. Houk said, of last month's shooting. If this happened in a place of lower socioeconomic status or a black community, no matter how well those people spoke, I don't think the media would cover it. And I think it's important that we point that out as Americans and realize that because we have to use our white privilege now to make sure that all of the voices, that all of the people that have died as a result of this and haven't been covered the same can be heard. He said it's sad but true. Now, that's incredibly reasonable, right? Like, what
seems like exactly what people have been asking for white people to do.
Yeah, we're like, hey, look, we're getting shot every day. We niggas get shot every day, B. So, like,
talk about
but we get overlooked. How about you give us a hand? And
right,
yeah, this kid is like, yeah, let's talk about it. But some people, black folks, we got to do better, yeah. Like, I don't understand. I saw this act just posted several times on Facebook, but there was one in particular that I saw, and I was like, yo, y'all bugging. Yeah, like, I don't understand. What do you want? But this was from she's a gun advocate, which again is a little weird because it's a black gun advocate, whatever. But his friends, I happen to be friends with him on Facebook, and I just kind of read the responses from some of his friends, and his friends were like, shut up, nigga. Like, I'm like, in basically in so many words, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna listen to you because you have the answers. And like, he didn't say he had the answers. He said,
he didn't.
I want to use my voice to bring not only our tragedy to the forefront, but the fact that people get shot in black schools, well, not necessarily black schools, but in black communities every day. And that's not covered by the media. Like, this one is covered. Now, granted, this is a mass shooting, and but again, these happen every day at this point. Honestly, mass shootings happen like every single day. But they don't really. Well, you see it on local news. That nigga got shot in the street. Okay, fine.
Right.
And it's a problem all over the country. But he wants to use his voice or his white privilege to bring those matters to the forefront, and people are upset because he said something about it instead of keeping his mouth shut. It was very strange. I saw it in several people were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is what we want.
This is exactly what we've been asking for.
This is what we've wanted forever.
Yeah,
but now you don't.
I don't really get it. I get David Houk's point, obviously, because it's
right.
The most reasonable point of all time. It's what we've been asking for years. I don't get a negative response to that.
Yeah,
I understand being upset with the media and saying, hey, you guys aren't covering these black and brown kids who are getting murdered every day in the streets all across the United States. And now you're taking this, this heightened interest in these white kids. Now, granted, I don't think it's a 1-for-1 that a kid gets shot in high school or gets shot in the street versus someone walking in with a arguably, like, gun advocates, you can suck my dick, I don't really give a fuck, a machine gun and going in and killing 17 people. Right. It's not going to get the same coverage, and that's not just because of a racial issue. It's just the level of violence. Like,
right.
Like we can't pretend that the Dylan Roof thing in North Carolina, I believe this is North Carolina, him walking into that church and killing 9 people didn't get coverage. It absolutely got coverage, right, because of the massive amount of violence. You just can't ignore that, right? So it's not a 1-to-1, but I understand the point of being pissed off at the media in the way, especially you could make a better argument of just like how the media portrayed the Black Lives Matter protest versus, what these kids are protesting, right? So I get the argument, but I don't get going after these kids saying like they know the answers to how to fix black communities. They never said that.
Yeah, he didn't. That's that. You just putting words into people's mouths. It's like you're projecting again,
right?
Like which is what people are want to do nowadays.
Yeah, and one of the other things, as a person who went to the March for Our Lives rally in DC, it was like 70-30 kids not from Parkland speaking about gun violence. And when I say 70-30, I also mean that 70% were people of color. Like, again, if you don't actually pay attention to the things and you're already mad and you're writing a narrative ahead of time and you're like, well, I'm not going to watch that because fuck this whole thing, then you missed it.
Right.
Like, you missed Martin Luther King Jr.'s granddaughter speak. You missed that 11-year-old black girl speak. You missed the black kid from Chicago, the black kids from Chicago speak. You missed the other black kid from Chicago. You missed the black kid from DC whose twin brother was killed. Like, they were all fucking people of color, not talking about the Parkland shooting specifically, talking about their own personal experience. So I thought that was pretty powerful. Shit, they even had Jennifer Hudson up there, doing a song,
right?
But her whole fucking family got murdered through gun violence. Oh, you remember that shit? Like, that was crazy. So, like, this idea that like black people or people of color weren't involved is simply not true. And if you say that, you just were not. You didn't even watch it. You didn't. You just made that up. Which again, or you're projecting, which is, like you said, what people these days want to do. So it's, I don't know, man. Like, if I understand people of color being very suspect, of white people when it comes to these situations, right? But I don't trust it, right? Like, I
get it. I still, I mean, look,
you can't help.
I'm black, so I understand. Even
y'all
with
fucked up
this,
a lot,
right? Even with this particular one, I understand the coverage is a lot is different, and I still. Like, I have my moments when I'm like, I don't trust these little kids. Right. I get just ingrained in me. I'm fucking 37 years old. I've been through a lot. So I still have those trust issues with people of the Caucasian persuasion. But
Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, like, these kids seem like they're literally trying to help. They're not old. They're not the old guard. These kids don't give a fuck about the old guard. They're like, no, we're going to throw you out. And we're going to put people that are going to actually do what we want them to do in.
Right. And I think that's an important point, right? That they are not the old guard anymore.
Right. And it seems to me like hey, look, again, they're the future. So we want them to help. Right. We want them to help us. So it's like, okay, I understand you're black and you don't trust them, but give them a chance. Like, yeah, there's still some in the millennials that are racist. Yeah, they're there, but give these kids a chance. And I don't know what it's going to do for gun violence in our community, but let them speak about it. What the fuck? Their people are going to listen to them, except for like these crazy NRA motherfuckers. But,
I mean, here's the thing: if you're talking about an assault weapons ban, right? Like, we don't we don't know definitively, like, okay, let's say one of the big things they want to do is they want to bring back the assault weapons ban in the US, right? That does help us because one of the big issues, right? Like if you're talking about like one-to-one gun violence, somebody stick you, like a stick-up kid or whatever, shoot somebody, like that kind of stuff with a handgun is not going to be changed, for the most part with this. But what it does help with is places like Chicago, where gang violence is so super crazy. Well, guess what? The right always being, oh, Chicago has strict gun laws, but you can get they have all these guns and AK-47s and all this other crazy shit. Yeah, they get those because they can buy them in the state legally right next door. Right? That's how it works. These guns, they're not handmade in someone's basement. They're legal guns that are illegally sold, between people, right?
Yeah.
So this idea of if you were to ban assault weapons, like those guns wouldn't be on the market. Henceforth, those guns wouldn't be able to be sold to drug dealers or to gang members and what have you, making places like the South Side of Chicago a fucking war zone. So, I'm okay with these white kids speaking out. Look, there is nothing more powerful than white people using their fucking privilege. And look, we talk about it all the time. Oh, white people have a lot of privilege. They do. And these kids recognize that and they're using it. Good. Good.
I don't understand the backlash.
I really don't. And it's funny because, David Houk is one of the faces of this group of kids, right? He's a really well-spoken kid. But the main person who is like the name that everyone knows, that people have posters of and doing chants when they see him, is Emma Gonzalez. She's a woman of color. So, like, maybe she doesn't look Latino enough for you. I don't know, but she's a fucking Latino girl.
But she ain't black though.
What's that?
She ain't black though. So
she ain't black though. So I guess it just
honestly that's it.
And that to me, like, look, I get it. I get the not trusting because we've been burned so many times in the past. I totally understand that. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a wrong feeling to have. What I am saying though is if you are a person who wants to see things get better, part of wanting to see things get better is we have to make ourselves vulnerable. We do. And hope every time we got to hope that people of power will fucking do the right thing. And I think these kids, like you said, they don't have any allegiance. Their only allegiance is, yo, my friends were murdered. Like, that's it. That's their allegiance. My friends were murdered and I'm pissed. And you motherfuckers in government aren't doing anything. That's it. They weren't like my white friends, but, these other black kids at school. They don't give a fuck, dude. They don't give a fuck. You look at kids, for the most part today, they are far more of a collection, like, of race and sexuality and creeds and whatever than any generation before that. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. And I don't want any comments. Well, my cousin goes to a school and stuff. Yeah, no shit, buddy. It's not fucking perfect. And it's never going to be perfect. We don't have to live in a utopia for things to get better. But kids these days are far more likely to know and be exposed and hang out and be friends, close friends with people who do not look exactly like them than they have ever been before them. So, like, it's just the exposure of culture. The world is getting smaller, everything, right? So these kids take their tragedy and they use that to not only help prevent another thing like this happening in their area or, other areas around the country, or to prevent gun violence in Chicago or wherever, in Baltimore, wherever. I am for it. And if they're speaking out and they're moving people on guns, the gun conversation, period, I'm definitely for it. What I'm not here for is fucking up on NRA TV. That's what I'm not here for. Your thoughts on this? I know you're a huge Colin Noir, is that his name? What's the fucking dude on NRA TV? Jethro Bodine / sellout, whatever his name is.
His name is Colin, whatever. It's not his real fucking name. Whatever that was, goddamn name.
It's probably like
Colin
like
Black.
Thurgood, like Thurgood Johnson. Like, yeah, yo, just stop trying to be cool. You're not a rapper, dude. You're just a guy on NRA TV.
Right. So this guy, if no one has seen it, Colin Noir. I've known who this dude is for the better part of like 4 years. Before I even knew he was some NRA fucking guy. I just saw a video of him on YouTube and I'm like, he's Before like when I
serious?
first saw him, I was like, okay, that's interesting. The guy's like gun, whatever, cool, whatever. But then he started talking, and I'm like, oh, you're one of those guys, Second Amendment guys that think because we would like to have less guns in the country, we're taking away your right to have a regulated militia. That's what the Second Amendment says,
militia
guys.
Is he a part of?
I don't know, the NRA militia, whatever the fuck the niggas reading. I don't know. I can't think of anything to NRA. But he had a real conversation about guns with Killer Mike. Killer Mike, he's a Bernie supporter. He likes guns. He said some problematic things in the past where people are kind of like, how the fuck is the white dude and Run the Jewels more reasonable one? but he has this interview and he says he basically is like, yo, these marches and all this other shit is ridiculous. And I'm like, you're black, Mike. Like
you're a big black dude, man.
You're like 6'3", 300 pounds.
They will put a bullet in you.
And your name is Killer Mike. If someone calls the cops on you, there's a good chance you're gonna die.
Yeah,
it just is, and your gun is not gonna save you.
No.
Again, the Second Amendment. You said this on Look Forward. It's not designed for us. It is. It's not in the Constitution that black people also like. Nah, no.
It was designed to put down slave rebellions,
right? And
slaves, black ones. Like,
then if you look at the numbers, once again, we are 13%. Yes, we feel like we need our guns to protect ourselves. I get it. Like if you like, look, I don't need a gun. I don't need a gun because I will shoot somebody. And I'll go to jail.
I don't need that kind of.
Yeah, like if I had a gun, I would use it. I just would. Like I know myself.
It's there for.
Yeah, the gun is specifically designed to kill things. It's not designed for fun. It's not designed for recreation. It's designed to murder things, whether it be animals or people. That's it. So when you compare it to a vehicle, which is designed to get you from point A to point B, that's a bullshit argument. It just is. Like I've seen that Colin black dude. He said that on a video where he was talking about the dude, the resource officer in the Maryland school that missed the nigga, and the dude shot himself. But that's beside the point. Right. Good guy with the gun didn't do shit. But anyway, back to Killer Mike. He says he's for the Second Amendment, and this march is like, I can't remember exactly what it said. You may have a little bit more knowledge about what he said, but it was some shit where they just got two black people on NRA TV to say, see, look, we got these two niggas, they like guns. The end. That's it. That
is the crux of that entire interview. Is that, hey, look, black people agree with us.
We got this guy that you like, hip hop guy, hippity hop. He raps about jewels. Right?
And running, like he doesn't
look like he's a runner at all. But yeah, that's the and he got dragged for it. But he apologized. Like, what did you think was gonna happen, though?
Yo, why would you if you go on NRA TV as a black person and your attitude isn't, nah, yo, I don't buy any of this. You are you
already
fucked up.
Right.
You go on there. Like when I saw the headline, it was like Killer Mike does interview with Colin Noir or whatever on NRA TV. I was like, oh, this is going to be super interesting. And then Killer Mike is like, nah, I agree with you. I was like, wait, what?
Huh? He goes to his kids like, if you march out of that school, you march out of my house because we're a gun-owning family. I'm like, yo, that's weird.
Yeah, that was the point where I could feel my internal temperature.
I was like, what the fuck are you saying, dog?
Like, you can be a gun owner, you can be an advocate for home defense and for hunting. Like, I have no problem
whatever
with that. But you don't have to be an advocate for insanity, which is to say that these kids are wrong because they want their friends to not get murdered.
Yeah. Like, very confusing.
What was the other comment this Noir guy said was, we to the kids from Parkland, he's like, they wouldn't know your name
Right.
if it wasn't for this thing. And they're like, yeah, I wish you didn't know my name.
That's dope. He is like, we wouldn't even know who you were if this didn't happen to you. I'm like, yeah. You're right, nigga. Like I would really rather have my friend fucking sitting there talking shit to me.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
17 people not be murdered than me be famous for this.
Yeah.
Like
they're fucking scumbags. they're terrible people.
The NRA is a terrorist organization. I will say that 100%, and I have no problem in saying it. Eat a dick if you don't agree. I could care less, because you can be a gun owner all you want. Is totally fine. You do not have to be in the NRA. They don't give you a membership card when you buy a Glock. Like that's not a thing. Like there are other gun groups. Like, and what again? You don't have to be a follower. You don't have to join any of them. You can get a gun and just still be you. Like it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be an individual.
Like and there are plenty of black gun groups kind of popping up. Like, and I mean that's fine. Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Again, like we feel like we need to have some type of protection in this country because Lord knows we've had a history and we still do.
People are wilding, you know.
Yeah, y'all niggas is wild. They bugging, but
like, hey, these Nazis don't seem that bad. Like, you know what? Maybe I
maybe I do need a gun. I think I go to fucking. Like I may need to go to the gun range tomorrow. But so I get it. I understand. Look, I again, I'm not for banning all guns. I mean, look, if you did, whatever. That's fine. I don't give a fuck.
Like, I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Yeah, if they said, like, hey,
you want to sign this letter to stop them from banning all guns? I'd be like, I got carpal tunnels.
Like, sure, whatever. I don't care. But like, look, you don't need an assault rifle.
You don't.
Like, you don't need an assault rifle to hunt. You're just gonna destroy the meat. Right. Like, what are you doing? So you don't need those types of guns.
I think everyone should be able to have. If you want to do hunting, you should be able to have a single bolt action gun. Right?
Yeah.
Like, bam, click, clack. You got to like work to do it. That's fine. And then like home defense, you can have a shotgun.
Yeah, shotgun. Like a pistol.
Yeah, it's fine.
Or like a M9 or something like that, and a bolt action rifle. Those are the only three guns you can have that you can own. You don't need a goddamn assault rifle, a semi-automatic assault rifle.
No one needs to be able to buy a 50 caliber sniper rifle. Why? Because I should be able to. That's not an answer. You sound like a child. Go to bed. Why? Because you said I have to go to bed. No, I just don't want to. Well, that's not. Again, it's not really an answer.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
But then again, maybe we should just let all the black folks just start buying all the guns that they want. See how that works. So how did that happen? How did that work out for the Black Panthers?
Yeah, they shut that. They passed the law real quick,
really quick.
No,
so you know what? Go ahead, black folks, buy all the guns you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe that's the answer.
Let those numbers creep up. We'll see what happens.
Like, what's the percentage of the people that own guns?
It's 50% of guns are owned by 3% of people in this country.
That's fucking, and there's like 300 million guns in this goddamn country.
Yeah, that's why when people are like, I don't think we could take all the guns, I'm like, I feel like we could. Like, if we really wanted to.
Down fucking Dale's door.
Yeah, like
he probably
got 40 guns. Like that's 40 people worth of guns. Like, we just knocked this shit out real quick.
Like they're collectors and shit like that. Like again, if that's what you do, if you collect guns and shit like that, but don't use them. Yeah,
but like, okay, here's my thing. So 50% of guns are owned by 3% of Americans. Also, 78% of Americans don't own guns,
right?
Which is a wild number because, watching the news, you would assume that.
You assume everybody owns a fucking gun. You assume there's a gun on every home on your block.
Right, but it's not that way. So like these ideas of like, we can't make any changes to the Second Amendment. People are like, we can't get it done. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could. You just have to change campaign finance laws so that the NRA isn't just buying off senators. Like, yeah, you could. Absolutely. There's not enough people who own guns that like people are just like, I don't give a fuck. Nigga, why do people have machine guns? Like, no. Like
there's no reason for them.
No, there's not. And yeah, I get it, man. Guns are fun. Oh, Jay, have you ever shot a gun? Yeah, I have. It's a blast. I've shot assault rifles. I've shot handguns. It's great. It's super cool. I get it. That doesn't mean everybody needs to have access to it. You want to learn how to use a AR-15? Join the
military. Army. Yeah.
That's it. Go over there and kill whoever they tell you to kill. That's fine. Have a blast. Although I have problems with that, obviously. But don't just kill black or brown people around the world. Come on, guys. It's unacceptable. But like, you want training on those weapons? Then join the military. There's no reason for those guns to be bought in Wichita, Kansas. What the fuck are you doing out there? I need it for deer hunting. Do they have guns? Because if the deers don't have Gatling guns, this is an unfair competition. So
they just walking and prancing around. Gets a bullet in the ass. Like, hold up, I didn't even do nothing. Like, yeah, I fucked that dude's car up the other day, but
like, hold on, let me put this shoulder mounted bazooka. Like, you don't need that. It's unacceptable.
Fucking Killer Mike, man.
I couldn't believe he did that. I was like, yo, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to listen to your music and not really go with the political views that you have.
Like, they had guns in Wakanda. I'm like, nigga, you didn't watch that movie.
Like, she literally
said, they didn't.
Guns. How primitive.
They had a spear.
They had super spears.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to trade laser spears for guns? All right, fine. Whenever they invent those, then you can have your weapons. Until then, give me your gun.
He just fucked up. I don't get it. Like, again, I'm not against black gun ownership.
No, I'm not at all.
But like, just be careful. That gun is not going to protect you from the cops. Just not.
And look, again, that'll make you a target. That amendment was not written for us. It just wasn't. Like, yeah, you can say, oh well, it's not. It's not then. It's now. But you could also make the argument about the Second Amendment was written then. So it's not a very good argument. Like, it just wasn't. It was written when we were considered 3/5 of a person. So just not really a thing that they considered.
And semi-automatic rifles didn't exist as well.
No. You had to like bite the thing and pour shit in a fucking musket. It took 38 minutes to get a shot off. Yeah, go ahead. Have all the guns you want. Who cares?
And you're not a well-regulated militia.
Yeah, that's another thing, guys. I'm going to need you to read the whole Second Amendment.
I know people don't read the end. They said, right to bear arms. I got the right to own a gun, nigga. Like, fuck off. Like, but you're not a regulated militia. And like, the English aren't going to come and invade your house. It's not going to happen. Oh, the government. Yeah, Obama was supposed to take your guns back in 2008. He was supposed to do that. But you got more guns
on that campaign promise.
Yeah, hey, he got off, and y'all niggas got more guns. So
yeah. Well, what is it? Remington just filed for bankruptcy because conservatives were so excited for Trump. They weren't running out and buying guns because they knew that the Second Amendment was safe. And Remington went out of business. They're like, yo, we need Democrats to sell
guns. We got guns here. Right.
Conservatives every fucking 8 years by telling them whatever Democrat's going to murder their grandmother and steal all their guns. Yo, I need conservatives. I need you to not fall for that shit every time. They're making fun of you. Okay. Like, they are. These idiots, they'll buy more guns. Sure as shit. Prices go right through the roof. Sales go right through the roof.
Cheap either, man. That's the other crazy thing. Like, guns are expensive.
Yeah. An AR-15 is $1,500. That's expensive, but that's not expensive enough to buy a machine gun. I have to tell you. They should be like $10,000.
Put that on layaway? Because I can't afford a fucking $1,500 gun. Like, what the fuck?
No, I can't afford to just throw $1,500 away on an assault rifle or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's just crazy to me. I just don't understand the weird like half thoughts about gun advocacy. Like, it's strange to me. I just fundamentally don't understand it. But again, we're not against people owning guns. Like, it's fine. I just don't think you need to have an assault rifle. Sorry.
I don't think you need multiple guns, honestly. One gun per household.
Like the chicken in every pot, a Glock in every household. That's fine. I'm telling you, I would tell people, if you want something for home defense, the only thing you should be able to get is a shotgun. The sound of it, you don't even need to use it. The sound of a shotgun cocking is one of the most terrifying things ever. I'm gonna rob you. Come on in.
Yeah, I'm standing at the door. Where?
I'm waiting on you.
What side? You don't know.
Yeah. Like, don't worry. Stand right in the center of the door on the other side. I'll put a hole in your chest. Like,
right.
You don't need it. Shit. Even Joe Biden was like, just get a shotgun. Just clock that thing one time. They'll leave. You're not wrong. Like, If I'm breaking into a house and I hear that noise, I'm out.
Like, oh, this nigga got a gun. The right kind of. He's
yeah,
like,
the
oh,
right
oh,
kind. And you don't even have to be that good
yeah,
with.
Just point and shoot.
You know what? I might just get the audio file and just put that on my computer.
Your phone. Just press the button.
Just hold my phone up like don't fuck around. Don't come up here. I got something for your ass.
I might get a shotgun. Again, I don't need a gun.
Nah, yo, you don't. This is a bad idea.
I just don't need one.
Look, I've known you long enough to know that ain't a move you need to make. We'd like you to be here for another 127 episodes and not in prison.
Nah.
I think that's it for this episode. But look, man, give these Parkland kids a chance. I do think they have a good opportunity, and they've got people listening that they can make some real change. And look, if they do, that's great. And look, and if you're out there saying they are ignoring people of color, or they're trying to tell people of color how to fix their community, I need you to actually watch these speeches. I need you to stop just dropping hot takes on Twitter without actually knowing what the fuck you're talking about. Just watch the speeches, man. And again, it was like 70-30 kids outside of Parkland talking. And I would say almost all of them, if not all of them, were people of color, which was a big deal. And actually, it was a surprise to me. I was like, oh, that kid's from Chicago. I was like, damn, there's a lot. Like, all these black kids from Parkland? Like, no. Like, I'm from Chicago. I was like, oh. And they weren't victims of school shootings, by the way. They were victims of shootings.
Just shootings in their neighborhood. Like, I was listening to the Daily. They had a whole episode on one of those kids that spoke in Washington.
Right.
Like, his brother got killed in Chicago. So he was like, yeah, I'm talking about gun violence. And he got a chance to speak. So
yeah. So look, it's important. And if we're honestly going to ask white people to recognize their privilege and to use their privilege in the right way, not to just like get ahead, even if they're not very good at school. Like, this is the way you use your privilege. Until we get rid of white privilege in society, which won't be for a very long time, if ever, this is what they need to do. And I think this is a pretty admirable thing. They're advocating for themselves, but they're also advocating and helping get other voices up there. And look, letting a couple brown kids and black kids speak in front of a crowd of like 800,000. Yeah, that's a big fucking deal. And look, I get it. You know, white people didn't handle Black Lives Matter very well at all. And I'm still pissed about it. But these kids aren't them. And so don't conflate shitty media with just regular kids who went through some shit. They're not.
Yeah. Blame the fucking media if you're going to blame anybody.
Yeah. And that's fair. Like, that's a totally fair argument. But don't blame these kids. Like, nah, I don't trust these kids. Fuck them. Nah, yo, come on. That don't make any kind of sense. And if you think about it, you know it doesn't. And look, I'll just say it right now. Whoever decides to comment on this on YouTube, that's fine. Any of that conspiracy shit about them being crisis actors or anything like that, you're gonna get blocked. I'm not even having that conversation. Because if you think that, you're fucking dumb. You're just dumb. You're dumb. That's it. Yeah. What was it? The dude from the Daily Show was like, how did the shooter know to go to the exact school with all the crisis actors?
Yeah, that's so the entire thing was made up.
They were like, that. I think you might have gone on. I think you might have created a new conspiracy. That's an interesting point. Like, no, what? Like, no, they're not crisis actors. They're regular kids who went through some shit. So stop just making up nonsense. Also, if they're crisis actors, why hasn't anyone else from the school said, hey, that kid didn't go to my school? Like, wouldn't someone say anything? Like, the principal would be like, nah, I don't know those. I don't know them niggas. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that 38-year-old.
Like, I don't know him. Yeah. Also, I was not paid by George Soros to be at that march. So I didn't get a check. I'm still mad about it. I heard they were giving out checks.
I didn't even know.
Call me, dog. All right, that's it. Check out Roxanne Roxanne on Netflix right now, and we will see you guys next week.
Take it easy.
We out.